Do it again. I love the tap, tap, taparoo.
Tap, tap, taparoo. That's a great bit. That was one of my favorites.
And welcome back to Two Jacks and One Schlub, where the two jacks and the schlub talk about nonsense and
Oh my God!
They always land on 4 feet, though, don't they?
He did not. That was a thump. That was not 4 feet. Come here, bud.
He's old. You gotta be careful.
Ooh, I just. Ooh.
Not your most graceful introduction, Matt.
No, I am shaking now. That was a flop.
Is he okay? Did he say anything? Did he yell at you?
No, he didn't yell.
I was going to say, you need to go take care of him.
I'll be back. I'm going to go check.
Oh, God.
Well, there's a first for everything, right?
Jesus Christ.
I have to amazing my lighting here, but I don't know.
Yeah. It looks good. Good enough.
Yeah. This is the third time I'm on. This is the third different location.
Oh, that's right.
Is this the third time?
Yeah, this is the third time.
Damn. We've had a show for a long time, boys.
When did we start again? It was in 2021 sometime, wasn't it?
Okay, he's okay.
He's okay.
Boy, boys.
Matt, you're coming in kind of quiet on my end. Is he coming in quiet on anybody else then? I just don't want the...
You could hear that.
I just don't want the thingy... Yeah, that's better.
All right, there we go.
Okay. Because Colin was coming in real loud and then you were coming in real soft, and I was just imagining people listening, if that stayed like that the whole time, it would, be super annoying. So
yeah, well, we'll just let people know that we're using a new recording platform.
Yes, exactly.
Tonight,
so
you've upgraded to Riverside. I like the layout already. I just did not like that when we first started using it. My face was huge. I did not need to see every zit.
What happened with that?
I don't know. I just did not need to see every zit, pimple, pustule, boil,
Pustules and Boils.
Scar.
That'd actually be a good band name, I think. Pustules and Boils.
Yes. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
It's actually, I was trying to imitate a George Carlin bit where he talks about the first time you see your face in fluorescent light after a long time. He says you can see every pimple, zit, pustule, boil, scar, ingrown hair that you've had since birth.
Mm.
And all you want to do is just get out of there.
That's why I hate after the soccer season when I shave my beard, because at least when you have the beard, it covers a lot of stuff up.
That's right.
Yep. I was just watching Seinfeld, and he did a little bit about how if the human body was like a car, you had to pay for it, you would never do the upkeep because it takes up way too much time, way too much money.
Oh man.
Well, boys, let's kick this off. Cousin Greg is here today, and he's been beating down my virtual door for months, so he's got plenty of topics to talk about with us today. But before we get into Greg's laundry list of things to talk about, let's talk about beers. What are we drinking?
I have my last can of the other half pack that Matt and I split, the anniversary pack. Yeah, there weren't that many. Right, Matt? There was only a handful.
This pack was only 4 or 5 beers.
Yeah. So this was
5 beers per person?
For each of us, right?
I kept some more, but
Oh, yeah. 5 for me.
But yeah, there's 5 individual varieties, but they're all 12%. They're all
it's a triple. It's 10%. Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah, this one is 4th anniversary is a zombie.
Quadruple dry hopped, right?
Yeah, quadruple dry hopped. It says, yeah.
So that's a good one. I think number 3 and number 8 were my favorites. But.
Okay, I got to look. There was one that I had recently that was super good. I can't remember which it was. It's a couple weeks ago. I'd have to look it on Tapped. It might have been the 8th one, but in any case, other half anniversary beer, of course, is good. So.
Oh man, see, if I had actually done my homework and looked up and seen that we had Cousin Greg on, I have one more can of my other half Philadelphia first anniversary beer, and it's got the Phillies script with the powder blue background. It's great. I had one last week. It was wonderful. I would have drank that in honor of you. I'm sorry. Instead, I've got a wheat pale ale from Half Acre in Chicago called Fudge Country. Half Acre's wonderful. It's actually their former brewery is now where my other favorite brewery out of Chicago, Hop Butcher for the World, is now located. But Half Acre is solid. They do a lot of really good pale ales and IPAs and a couple really good stouts and barley wines throughout the winter season as well. So Usually pretty interesting can art. One that I'm always willing to pick up and try, just because I know more often than not I'm going to get a good solid beer out of them. So, and then as a tribute to Jeremy, my backup beer tonight, I've got a Burlington Brewing Company beer for the follow up if we want to go there. So
Nice.
I'm actually, you can't really tell, but I'm drinking out of I don't know if you can see it there, Dan and Kayla from their wedding.
Oh, nice.
But this is Other Half, Green City. It says that I don't know, it says here it's the flagship IPA of Other Half. So the whole reason I got it was around Christmas time. Now my birthday is New Year's Eve.
Okay.
So I always try to have a couple different drinks on New Year's Eve. And I was looking for milkshake IPAs, of course, and I found this strawberry milkshake IPA. So I was like, this is great. I'm going to get it. It actually was terrible. And I went to this other place, which actually used to be Colin. It was the Wendy's on Main Avenue that we used to go to near Ziggy's house. It's now like a brewer or a beer outlet and vape shop. It was very nostalgic going. This is the first time I've been in there since, we used to walk down when we were at my grandparents' house to go to Wendy's there all the time. And it brought back memories of eating at the salad bar there, of course.
I really hope you had to walk through the Wendy's queue to get to the front cash register.
Well, I was actually telling the kids, I was like, there's where we used to sit all the time and eat right by the window and watch the cars. And
oh, was it the big curved front window style Wendy's?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's
the
best. Yep. That's the best. Yep.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of it next time we go by. But I had my hands on another. It was a variety pack of milkshake IPAs. And then I saw this Other Half 4-pack, and I was like, well, I got to get it because you guys talk about it so much. And it was, I don't know what the percent is on probably this one.
7 or 8?
7%. Yeah, it is like super smooth and good. It was so delicious. I had it. I'm pretty sure I had it on my birthday. That was the first time that I had it on that New Year's Eve after I had a couple at Cooper's Seafood. But it is phenomenal. And I had one left, so I saved it for when I was going to be on here. If I get to number 2, I have one from, I think it's from Raleigh. I'll have to see what it is. But it's one that was sent up with Danny over Christmas. So maybe I'll get into that one a little bit later.
Yeah, nice. Other Half is solid. Like they're one that I'm almost always positive. Like I even tried a non-alcoholic IPA from Other Half a couple weeks ago, and I was like, they're pretty good. Like that was, it would have been good for a regular beer. It was outstanding for a non-alcoholic beer. So
nice,
excellent,
good deal. All right, I've got The Stillness of a Personal Hell.
Burial.
That's a great name.
Yeah, Burial's got great names.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Great
Okay.
Images.
Yeah.
And I took Matt's birthday present to me last week, and I went and bought a couple 4-packs, 6-pack. So it stocked up very well. Thank you, Matt, for all of that. Since Cousin Greg is off camera for a moment, I will do quick housekeeping. I still have people banging down our virtual door about the live podcast event coming up in 2 weeks, I think it is. I just had somebody text me about it yesterday, I think it was. And not everybody who's texted me or has reached out has signed up yet, but there seems to be a lot of interest. So I think as it gets a little bit closer, maybe people will sign up and we'll get them the link to the show and everything. But Wednesday, March 15th, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live episode. Y'all get to call the shots, pick what we're going to talk about.
If you want to just shit on me the whole time, you can. That's probably what most people would want to do, I would think. So.
Oh, come on. Who would want to do that?
The roast of Ethan Ertz.
Uh-huh. That's been my whole entire life. That's the title of my first 33 years of existence. So.
Yep. So sign up. I'll put it in the show notes, and we'll post about it for the next couple of weeks, but definitely looking forward to that live event.
You know, it's funny. I thought that the backyard baseball thing. I mean, obviously we love backyard baseball, but I was like, nobody else is going to give a shit. But then Jeremy, he had his little one-liner last week about like fuck Pablo Sanchez, Pete Wheeler's where it's at, and I'm like, okay, you know what?
Yeah.
There's actually there's some fun shit in backyard baseball that we can talk about. So I think that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never played it ever.
Never ever. Maybe you're just a touch old. Maybe it was like sweet spot for me and Matt and Kyle.
When did it first come out? Like late 90s?
Yeah, late 90s.
Yeah.
97
So,
maybe.
That's towards like my junior, senior year high school. So like I was constantly working for Uncle Robbie. Sarah, we were dating at the time. So, and then pretty much just playing soccer. And then when I got to college, all we did was play NCAA football and WWF wrestling.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like those were the only two games we played. So I've read about it. I actually have a great Pablo comparison for later on to end with. Nerd out stats. But yeah, so I never played it before ever.
I got to throw out, in addition to Pete Wheeler, I'm always a Kenny Kawaguchi guy. I mean,
Kenny Kawaguchi.
Get him on the mound, right? Four baseballs, pitching stats. Get him on the mound.
And I don't want to give away all the secrets, but Keisha Phillips.
Oh, Keisha Phillips is great. Yeah,
Keisha was player. She was a slugger, right?
Yeah, she was great.
She was like the Bambino.
Yeah,
she could slug.
Yeah.
There was a game before you guys probably got into gaming that we used to play on the original Nintendo. It was Little League Baseball, and it had 16 teams. It had 8 teams for the United States and then 8 teams from other countries, and it was similar. It was just super fun, but it had like people on it that were pretty much like glitches in the game, and then it had like people on it that like I always was so mad because I loved playing with Italy and they were the worst team on. My dad and I used to play against each other all the time. We would just randomly play Little League baseball tournaments. It was great.
Speaking of,
were you old enough to appreciate Ken Griffey Jr.'s for the Super Nintendo, Greg?
I'll be honest with you. I've probably played Super Nintendo about 5 total times. Like I went from original Nintendo right into Sega. And then from Sega, like when I got to college, we were right into like PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64. So like I never even really played a lot of Super Nintendo even. I wasn't a huge gamer back in the day. Like even now, I don't play. I usually only play like in the summer when I just have more time. But not like my kids are. They're constantly gaming all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to devote like a whole episode to like video game glitches, because all I can think of is
Bo Jackson.
No. Oh, Bo Jackson. That's a good one. But I'm thinking MVP Baseball 2005, Tony Womack. Like,
yes.
Holy crap, he was an automatic home
you
run.
You remember that? Oh my God. Have we ever talked about that, Matt? I don't know if we ever have.
Maybe once or twice.
That is fucking hilarious. I don't know if I've ever
play the season mode, and I'd have 87 home runs with Tony Womack.
The whole like upper right corner of the strike zone was like red hot for him. So you got to pitch there, and if you put your little trigger up and to the right, he would just crush it to right field every fucking time. Tony Womack.
I'd hit like 450-foot bombs in the freaking polo grounds with him. Like,
it was hilarious. It was so
That's
funny.
like Ward from Team New York on Little League Baseball.
Yeah.
Like, had a cleanup behind Saul. Saul was the pitcher. Ward was the first baseman. Ward was your typical Little League first baseman. He hit nukes.
Yeah.
Like big
nukes.
And Tony Womack did actually play really well in the 2001 World Series. So
but this was MVP Baseball 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wasn't exactly ever much of a power hitter,
No.
right? So
No. That's true.
Yeah.
a true glitch in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, this wasn't a glitch, but MLB 99 was so Griffey, the Super Nintendo game, and then MLB 99 for the original PlayStation were the 2 baseball games that I played the most. And there was the cheat code in MLB 99 where you could get Kelly Flock, the player, not a real player or whatever, but literally every single time would hit a 500 something foot home run. So that was if you could get the cheat player on your team, then you knew you were going to win because you would hit the bombs. That was a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure Vince Scully announced those
Yeah,
games.
I remember that. Absolutely.
Yeah,
those were great.
Yeah.
Really quickly, Tony Womack, career 673 OPS, a career 72 OPS plus. So he was 28% below average as a hitter in his career, and his career high for home runs in a season was 7 in 146 games in 2000. So that's a huge fucking glitch. Yep. So, anyways.
See,
amazing.
Tony Womack
great about
contact,
that game, though. You could like unlock
Yep.
historic players. So like I unlock Mickey Mantle and then sign into my team and be like, well, yeah, no shit. This guy's going to hit a 500-foot home run to center field. Like
Mickey's going to hit fifth behind Womack, though, and in that situation.
I mean, you got to respect Womack's power.
Yeah, that was a great game. That was really Womack glitch aside. That I played a lot of that one too.
One last thing, you can go to Spotify and they have an MVP Baseball 2005 playlist.
Oh my god!
Oh holy shit! It takes me back. I mean, I just listened to it with Sam the other day. Takes you back.
Oh, that's funny.
Some bangers on that list.
Yeah, nice. All right, what do we got? Should we get to Greg's laundry list?
Cousin Greg,
Greg's got a list,
do it.
So I think we got to jump in there.
Yeah, I got. Now a lot.
Wait. He texted me yesterday, and he was like, "I got my notes ready."
I showed again. Look, I've been taking all these notes now. Listen, first of all, some of the things like there's no response needed. Some of them you maybe can dive into a little bit deeper. I don't know if you can see. I did wear my my Philadelphia Phillies NLCS champ shirt for today. Am I out or are you guys out?
We can hear you.
We can hear you. Yeah, you're good. You
can
good.
see
You
it.
see me?
Yeah.
I saw you.
We can right now. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. These computers work all weird. Like, because I can't see Matt and Colin right now, but I can hear everyone.
Weird.
I don't know. All right. Well, let me know if anything goes out. So yeah, I just got a lot of things here. Like this is how far back this goes, Matt. I'm sorry because you're like, no pun intended, the root of some of these here. But
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I just want. Oh wait, hold on. Am I still there?
Yep.
Right. I just wanted to let you know that the Giants made the playoffs and the Packers did not.
A very good reminder.
And Eli Manning is a 2-time Super Bowl MVP.
Cheers to that. Yep.
So yeah, cheers to that. And
I can't wait for Matt to bring up some stats or something.
Well, I mean, you can't because I mean the Giants made the playoffs this year. The Packers were significantly worse. And again, Eli Manning is still a 2-time Super Bowl MVP.
Matt's just like
Greg,
sniffing his beer.
I don't know if you can see Matt now, but
I actually could.
Yeah. When he gets angry, he has to sniff beer to calm him down.
Say that.
Yeah. And again, a lot of these things, just simple things, like Penn State, they are or were 11-2 this season. I thought, I know we were. The last time I was on the show, we made the predictions, and I know we were way off. I had made the predictions with Syracuse. We thought that was such a bear of a schedule, and obviously Syracuse went through the first part of that schedule really unscathed. And then obviously they went through their rough patch. But I know Syracuse surely played way better than I think any of us even thought. But when you look at Penn State's schedule, 11-2, they only lost 2 games. They're the 2 games that they were not favored to win. So when you look at that, I mean, the grand scheme of things, you would hope that they would maybe win one of those games. But 11-2, they still are.
That Purdue game was close.
This is the first game of the year.
It was close.
Now, so I did go on record today. I'm like, I talk myself into things, but I always say a win, it doesn't matter how much you win, but a win is a win. But I did say today, so my school is participating in a stock market game, and 2 weeks into the stock market game, it's all through Pennsylvania. So there's over 10,000 kids participating in it. I don't know how many schools are actually participating, but as of right now, my students are currently the leaders in all of Pennsylvania. We're winning. and I made the statement to them. I said, Jack Riley, who was Gordon Bombay's coach in Mighty Ducks 1, said it's not worth winning if you can't win big. I said, I want to win, and I want to win big. So I kind of talked myself into things because I just want the win, but I do really want to win big.
So this brings back memories because you're looking at what year was it? 2001 Syracuse stock market game winner right here for the middle school division.
Really?
Even though I was only in 6th grade, we won the middle school division. Say that.
Well
it's in the papers.
2 parents who are accountants. I'm not impressed.
No. So we were in like 35th place until the last week. And I asked our advisor guy, like, what should we do? And he recommended Duke Energy, and I ignored him because I noticed this company called Anaren Microwave in the local section was like going up like $4 or $5 every day. So dumbly, I just I put 10% of our money on that, and they had a stock split, and then went up like 50% in value in that week. So like the following week when they announced the values, I just remember my teacher pulling out like the paper, and a team was highlighted first, and it was us. And I was like, well, that was dumb because I just guessed based on like a trend that I spotted in the paper. And what do you know? Got a free dinner out of it at Lemoyne College.
Yeah,
woo, nice.
It is amazing though to hear the kids like talk about it because they're like really, really into it. And again, the reason why we do it is just to get them engaged in talking about obviously real world scenarios, but it's and obviously the math is involved with it, but just to get them, doing something a little bit different. This is the first year that I ever did it. They've always done it the past few years in our 7th grade level. So Luciano is actually participating in it with his teacher. And then we have 3 8th grade classes that are 3 8th grade teachers that are participating in it. And then we have 1 in our high school. So it's pretty neat just to see them engaged in again, applying some of the math to real world scenarios, which is what we really want them to do.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. And like we had a guy from Charles Schwab come in and like talk to us and teach us.
Yeah.
And so like in 6th grade, I had a pretty good understanding of what like a short sale was. Like,
yeah,
because he talked through, like he said, that's something you guys can do. If you know it's going to go down, you're borrowing someone's stock, selling it, and then buying it back at a lower price, meaning that you're going to make that money. And I thought that was pretty cool. So I look back at it fondly, and then you tie in the math, you tie in like we got newspapers delivered every day, so we could track our stock purchases, which was great because my dad got a free copy of the Wall Street Journal every day when we were in the stock market game. I'd bring it home for him, so he liked that too. But that's pretty cool.
It's funny that you bring that up with the short sales because that's the one kid in my homeroom today. He's like, I have no idea even what I'm doing. And the one kid was explaining to him the short sales. And he's like, this is how I'm making all my money right now.
It's going down, short selling.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. It ties all in.
Nice.
No, good.
Good luck with the stock market game. I want updates. I hope they win.
Thank you.
Win
I will
big.
let you know. It goes until right after Easter. So we still have about 7 to 8 weeks here. I told him, I said, this is not a sprint. We're in this for the long haul. I said, I'm happy with what you're doing, but I need to still see better. I want to win this. I had to think. So there was a couple episodes ago. Obviously, steroids have been a huge talk in what you guys, with baseball and everything. I have a buddy whose name I will not say that did play Division I baseball. Did not play above Division I baseball. Did not go and play in the minor leagues. He told me, though, very, very specifically, if he was a minor league player and there were potential aspirations to get and be at that major league level, he said, there is no doubt 100% I would have done steroids. And he said, everybody. And that's the thing that, like we said, we talked about it. Everybody has dabbled and everybody has done it. There's no way. I mean, and again, that's why I know you guys have said it so much. There's a reason why the hall is a sham, and no one really even cares about it. To be honest, I know I don't anymore because we know who the best players are. But I mean, how can you decipher who was and who wasn't using just because A, B, and C got caught and D, E, F didn't get caught. But they were
especially when there have been other forms of cheating for, like, who was the spitballer?
Gaylord Perry.
Yep.
Gaylord Perry, Hall of Famer. I complained about this at nauseum probably a few weeks ago on the podcast. Jose Altuve is very likely to make it to the Hall of Fame, even though he's part of one of the, that's like, that scandal is like up there with the Black Sox scandal, and for some reason, well, we know the reason that they got because they spilled the beans on everyone else. Whereas like Shoeless Joe and all them got banned, but like the degree of the differences between the cheating and whatever makes no fucking sense to me. And then you throw in like all of the players from the 60s, 70s, 80s when amphetamines were huge, and like what were they doing? And then like even like the first time I ever really thought about this was Nolan Ryan, when Matt, you were talking about him when we were doing the draft. But I think there's a really good chance that he at least dabbled with some type of steroid, because he played into the 94, I think was his last year. Like, steroids were definitely around by then. So
he probably had like horse steroids or something. Like,
probably helped him go until he was like 45 or something, right? I mean, that's the shit that probably helped him like get there,
Yeah, and just because he didn't bulk up like Bonds or Clemens or any of them doesn't mean that he wasn't on something. He just took a different form
exactly
of a steroid.
Players used to talk about how, right? They used to say that there was just like a bowl of pills.
Yeah,
it used to just be in the clubhouse, and no one really maybe did or didn't know what the pills were, and you just took a couple of these and took a couple of those.
Yeah.
And the amphetamines is the biggest one for me, right? Like, that was accepted for so long, and then suddenly it was, but they gave him a 2-year notice, right? And they said, all right, that's going to be considered performance enhancing.
Yeah.
That's one where it's like just a complete 180 right there.
They could have done that with steroids too,
Yeah.
Like, they could have, like, instead of making everybody scapegoats, they could have been like, hey, we realize that we encouraged this, that it brought a lot of attention to the game. A lot of really good things happened as a result of this, but like, it's getting a little bit out of control. So, in a couple of years, we're going to start, testing and whatever. But it just felt so witch hunty, like from the start. Once they decided that they were going to test for it, it was like, all right, we are going to find every single person. It's like, no, you're not. First off, because there's ways around it, all the time, and it's just.
I know. I still will. The hill I will die on are the ones that, well after it was illegal, still. Like,
they were just doofuses, right? Like, getting caught at that point, like Robbie Cano and Manny Ramirez and shit. Like
Robbie, Manny, Melky, A-Rod with the biogenesis stuff, like Cervelli.
Yeah,
those are the ones I can remember off the top of my head. It's like, come on, man.
Think about this though. Like, Cousin Greg, you can relate to this. It's the kid syndrome. Like, you tell them not to do it, and they're going to do it anyway because you specifically told them that they couldn't do it.
Yeah, but they're making
somebody else.
They're making hundreds of millions of dollars, so there's consequences.
Yeah, but I'm saying if they had taken a different approach, like, it might have been different, and we might be looking at this in a whole different light. And Barry fucking Lamar Bonds would be in the fucking Hall of Fame, where he rightfully belongs.
Let me add one more thing before we go back to Cousin Greg. Because Colin mentioned, I don't think we've actually talked about this much, but Colin mentioned just quickly about like different forms of steroids. And just one thing I want to add that we, because we haven't gotten into this, I don't think. There are these different forms, right? And so, like, you have your anabolic steroids where you have somebody like Barry Bonds who his like head size fucking quadruples, right? Like, you have that kind of shit, the anabolic steroids, and apparently there are some health problems with that, blah, 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 blah. But then
By the way, him and A-Rod were at the Timberwolves game the other day, and
I saw
Bonds looks amazing.
Yeah, and so much thinner. Amazing. Like, it's crazy. It's hilarious. Yeah. But so there's that side of it, right? But then there's also like the more, I don't know if it's HGH or what specific, like what the specific names are of all of the different things, right? But there's the stuff that helps people work out longer and recover faster, right? Not even about like ballooning
Yeah.
your head size and becoming like a bodybuilder with your muscles, but just working out longer and recovering faster. Who would not do that? I would fucking do that if I was going to start like lifting weights
That's
just for
what
health.
more people are doing.
Yeah.
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 And
So
that's why supplements like creatine are, are popular, right?
Yep. So anyways, yeah.
Yeah, because an anabolic steroid is going to make you look like Barry Bonds, but creatine or HGH or something like that is you're going to look the same, but your recovery, the insides of you are different, even though you look the same outside.
I took creatine for a 2-month period when I was trying to get back into football shape. And it was pretty startling how quickly, after a 2-year absence, I was back within 50 pounds to 25 pounds of my maximums, like for all of my lifts.
Like lifting?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was startling, right? Like the muscle growth.
Wait. So when you say, is it, this is how ignorant I am of all this stuff. Like, is it a drink or?
I was taking a pill.
A pill.
Yeah.
Got it.
GNC, creatine, something,
Yeah.
big black.
I know
horse pill.
people in high school would take it, but I just never dabbled in it, so I literally had no idea.
Yeah,
But
I never took it in high
GNC
school.
really
This was when I was in college, and I still have the bottle because I 10 years later still think one of these days I'm going to start lifting weights heavily again. But I mean, I was pretty close to PRs, and again, it took me 4 weeks to get back there, which shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. I was blown away. So
Yeah. No.
And you're just no offense,
No.
but you're a regular, schmo,
Yeah.
like compared to Barry
No,
Bonds.
he's a jock.
I'm like a half schlub. That's okay. Sitting here drinking beers, checking into 8,000 untapped beers,
Oh man.
I tagged you all in Untapped tonight, so you all like that when you open it up.
Oh, shit.
Cheers
This is pretty tasty. Oh shit.
Oh, nice.
Was that by?
That's from BBCO?
Yeah, Burlington.
Yeah, that's Jeremy's fave.
Oh, that's the one for Jeremy.
yeah, his
Yeah.
fave, yeah.
Brother Jeremy.
Yeah. All right,
All right,
should-
Greg, what's
back
next
to
on the
the
list?
back to the laundry list here.
This actually goes back to last week. I was really behind the 8 ball on this, but Ethan had mentioned about Ted Lasso. And I don't remember the context of which you were talking about it, but this was, again, how far back this goes. I went to LA the first week of December. We went out for the Rams Seahawks game, and on the way coming home, the internet was so bad, like there was nothing I could watch except for free Apple TV, and this was the first time that I watched Ted Lasso. And me being a soccer coach, I don't know how I never
I'm shocked.
watch it. And I watched 2 episodes, and I was like, "Dang it! Now I'm hooked." And I didn't have Apple TV, so I went home. I signed up for a free week of Apple TV, and I binge watched the first 2 seasons.
Yep.
And let me tell you, Led, Tasso, and Roy Kent Roy Kent, they are the 2 best characters. I love Led Tasso. Roy Kent is just absolutely
Brilliant.
he just everything about him was excellent, and I'm really looking forward to the night you guys are doing
Season 3.
the live event. That's season 3.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So pretty stoked.
So excited.
I know why. You were talking about relegation.
That's right.
Yep.
Yes, relegation and promotion. I was trying to remember. Yeah, that's what it was.
It'll never work. And Matt said it last week. It'll never work because of the reasons
They own them.
that are different.
The Syracuse Mets versus the New York Mets, right? Like they
Yeah,
own both
like it-
teams.
But can't we change
The-
that?
the-
Like some. Anyways,
Well,
eventually,
yeah,
someday,
that's
maybe.
that
Also,
would be-
just the Ted. I have to say, every time I bring Ted Lasso up, the Christmas Carol episode, that is Hannah Waddingham's actual voice.
Oh yeah, she's like a
Holy
musical
shit,
theater.
she can sing.
Yeah, she's like a
Like,
musical
yeah.
theater star.
Oh
like,
my
also.
God.
Yeah,
She sings "Let It Go" too in the episode
Yeah.
where they do like karaoke.
yeah,
That's her actual voice.
yeah. Oh yeah, she's amazing.
I'm actually rewatching The Sopranos on HBO Max, and Corrado Soprano Jr. I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Sopranos, but Junior is, well, you guys all know James Gandolfini, Tony
Yeah.
Soprano. So Junior is Tony's uncle, and he often goes into singing in some of the episodes, and he is like a really accomplished singer in like classical singing, and it brings up like him, like that was actually him singing like, in the episodes.
That's
like,
awesome.
So a similar scenario as that.
There's a behind the scenes clip of them recording that song for the show, and they're just doing it in the set for the bar, and it's got the buskers, the musicians they hired as the buskers playing guitar and singing backup, and I can't remember the dweeby assistant guy is actually playing the bass live, and Hannah Waddingham is singing right at the bar, and it's like I probably watched that 3 or 4 dozen times because it's just so impressive.
Yeah,
like I can't her voice is just so damn good.
It got a little goofy and weird towards the end of like season 2. So I'm hoping season 3 has a pretty good comeback. But I don't know how I went without watching it. But once it was like a Lay's potato chip. I couldn't have just one.
Oh God, yeah.
Get back in there then.
Okay, really.
I really loved it.
Really quickly, Matt, you watched the whole show, both seasons and everything?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
now I don't know if we want to, maybe I was going to text Colin about this like separately because Matt, I didn't realize you had watched it all. I don't know if this is the right time to go into this, but I want to talk about the arc of Nate Shelley at some point. I don't know if we want to do that on the pod. I don't know if we want to like spoil shit for people who haven't seen it. So maybe we do it off the air, but I'm super curious.
Fuck that. It's been out for 3 years now.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, 2 years at least.
Yeah. I guess you guys can share whatever if you want, but let me just give you my quick pitch. Basically,
you want me to spit into the camera?
Yeah, spit into the camera, right? So, like the arc itself, like his downfall and becoming a huge asshole. Like I think they sell that fine. Like throughout the second season, there are plenty of little things where you can see him descending into this like fucking egomaniac douchebag, right? You can see that. But what I always kind of like, and I thought this again on my rewatch recently, the very like last episode or whatever it is, whenever he like loses his shit on Ted, that I never like totally bought. Like I think he was just like levying all these accusations at Ted that just were like not true. Like the show did not show that. He's talking about like, oh, you made me feel so important and then you abandoned me. What are you talking about? Abandoned you? Like he kept running your plays and giving you credit every time. Like what the fuck are you talking about? So that just? Do you guys think that they're just?
I think they were trying to tie it into
the lead up to season 3. I think.
Well, no, they were. Ted was having his breakdown about being abandoned. That's why he got pissed at the
therapist, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure they were trying to tie that in, but yeah, I get that.
Yeah, like, maybe it's just him being like
definitely a little bit of a stretch. Yeah,
I thought that was, but again, I also maybe it's going to be. The husband, the former owner in his ear. Maybe it's going to be, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's Rupert. A good point, Matt. Yeah, Rupert probably, because they did show scenes of Rupert talking to him. So
yeah. How about like if you rewatch it and the nuggets, like any show, right? You pick up on the little nuggets, and there's the funeral when he's like, I'm going to sell you, my shares of the team, and then you think it's this nice little gesture, and even they talk about Rebecca and her mom, and then they show the very next scene he's in Nate's ear
exactly
as he's walking away, and it was like at the time didn't even register. Nothing registers, but now when I rewatched it I was like, oh,
exactly
shit, that was when he planted the seed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ted is like the ultimate, like, so he, like you say, like he was always giving credit to the other guys like on his staff, especially Nate. For running his plays and doing his tactics.
The only thing I can see to the abandonment tie-in is like you can obviously see he gets Nate gets really upset by Roy joining the
that's
coaching
true.
staff.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, Roy's gonna like take my spot, and because Roy does something in the first game, I think that he coaches, he comes up with some play or whatever. But then like everything after that is still all Nate stuff. Like they do where they sit back or whatever and don't do anything. And Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. One more question before, and then we can move on if you guys want. Greg, you mentioned you love lead tasso. What I was going to ask you is, do you have a version? Do you have Arg Curry?
So I have an assistant coach.
Is he your beard? He's your beard, isn't he?
Yeah, but he plays the role of lead tasso.
I see. Okay, he's the bad guy.
Especially like after wins, like the practices after wins are always harder than the practices after losses.
As they should be.
Because you don't want the team to get complacent. You don't want them to so it's always really pushing their buttons to try to get them to even a higher level. And we do this same passing drill every single day from the very first day we start, summer conditioning practices. And they've done it a million times. And it seems like that day after a really good victory, they somehow mess it up. And my assistant, he gets after them. And I have to turn away because I'm laughing so hard. I just have to turn away and I have to walk away because I lose it. And I don't want the kids to see me dying laughing because he is the lead tasso of the team. I don't have to have that. He'll always play the bad cop for me so I can always swoop in and be the good cop.
Nice.
Because he doesn't want to be the good cop. So I very rarely, the kids know if I'm bad cop, the kids know something's up. Like they know that they've done something wrong because it's maybe once a year where I really have to get after them and get into them. But they often know. They know that if we win, they know the next day's practice is going to be legit. It's going to be hard, and it's going to be the toughest thing that they've been through. After we lose, we'll regroup, kind of have an easier day just to get ourselves back into rhythm. But yeah, I don't have to play the lead tasso role.
I love it when he snaps out of it.
Yeah,
he's like,
"How long was I out?
How long was I out, coach?"
Yeah. So good.
I've got one just observation, and I consider myself a pretty nice guy, right? Like you said, the Joe Posnanski mensch definition, but I feel bad when I watch Ted Lasso because I aspire to be that nice.
Yeah.
Like I want to be like that. Like I don't know. I just feel like, I could be nicer. Like he's such a good person.
Yeah.
Why am I not like that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
and he makes all of the horrible, normally I hate words like heck and dang and darn, but he makes them endearing. Like when Colin, you mentioned when he gets mad at the therapist and he talks about I'm just so dang ticked off at you. And I was like, aw, that's so sweet. Like normally those words drive me insane, but with him, it's like, aw, it's just so cute.
Yeah. So I'm in a bunch of, or I guess I'm not in. I follow a bunch of Ted Lasso accounts on Twitter. There we go. We got it.
Oh, okay.
Third time. And they're like fan accounts or whatever. And some of them are hilarious. Like one's really funny. It's the books of Ted Lasso, and it's Beard is always reading a different book. And so they just talk about the different books, and they have a book club, and it's amazing. And there's a ton of different podcasts. I actually might help one of them edit their podcast.
Oh,
but anyway, that feeling, Matt, that you talked about, is a huge reason why I love that show. And I think it was a huge reason why it was so popular and successful because it came out in the heat of the pandemic. Yeah. It was August of 2020. In one of those groups, they recommended another show on Apple TV called Acapulco, which is a bilingual comedy, Spanish, English. And the main character in that show, his name's Maximo. Same type of thing. He's the sweetest teenager in the world and always wants to do well. And it's such a feel good show that both of those shows, whenever there's a new season, I'm waiting so badly for them to come out. And Acapulco just got picked up for a third season. Ted Lasso's coming out in a couple weeks with their third season. So it's those shows just doesn't matter what kind of mood you're in. You just love them.
Yeah.
Well,
100%.
it's like George Saunders. He's this SU professor. He's a writer.
Oh yeah, hasn't he won a Pulitzer?
Yeah, yeah.
He's famous.
You know, he had a really famous graduation speech at SU about like he's more disappointed in the times that he's been, you know, he's failed to be kind to people. That like sticks with me a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Can I just make a side note really quick? Can we talk about Boeheim and in Syracuse at some point?
Maybe next week.
That's funny you say that. Yeah, well, because we got to get through Greg's list. But Colin, that's funny you say that because I want to do that because I saw that they lost by 20 to Georgia Tech. And so I was like looking them up because I haven't.
And they gave up 99 points to Pitt.
Okay, and I haven't followed in ages.
Really good this year. They're number one in the ACC.
But they've been bad they have been like mediocre for a while. I was looking into this. I was like, what's been going on with Syracuse? Because I just don't follow shit anymore. They've been mediocre for like years. I guess in 21 they made the
2003.
Yeah, and so yeah, I'm very curious to chat about that at some point.
Sorry, man, I didn't want to cut you off. When you said SU, I was like, oh shit, we got to talk about Jimmy.
Yeah, dude.
Well, I want to go back to Greg's list because before I get all sappy about George Saunders.
Yeah.
Listen, we're on like 4 of 28.
You got to come back next week then.
I think Greg's on next week's show.
This is just a quick one. Messi is the GOAT. That's all that needs to be said. And that's coming from a guy who is not a Messi fan.
You know the most about soccer more than any of us. So
I do love Leo Messi, but in our house, well, Luciano and I are big Ronaldo guys. Gaetano is a Messi guy. I think it's because he's a left footer. Plus, we got him like a Messi jersey one time. But Messi is absolutely the GOAT. Solidified it by winning the World Cup. Here's one, though. This is for Matt, because I texted Colin about this. We opened up here in Scranton a Voodoo Brewing company, and I have not been able to get there yet, although my sister has. And she said, does he got it?
He's always ready for the wardrobe changes.
Yeah. My brother-in-law Andy said the beer's phenomenal. They have a ton of different beers on taps there. They said the food is really good. My sister described the bathrooms as being super clean, which obviously is a plus when you're going out.
Absolutely.
But it's very. They said it's kid friendly. You know, you can bring the kids there. They do have like games on. I don't even know, maybe if it's like an iPad type thing where they have games like that the kids can play. So I do hope to be able to get there. But I thought it was pretty cool when I saw Voodoo opening up a place here.
So I'd say their IPAs are probably the weakest thing they make. Their IPAs are going to be mediocre.
Yeah.
The other stuff they make, like the Voodoo Love Child's like a Belgian triple with a bunch of fruit in it. Like they make a lot of really good stuff. And if you ever get a chance to try their Barrel Room Collection stuff, the BRC, that's some of their barrel aged stuff that's kind of rare. That's really good as well. So maybe I'll have a bottle or two on the podcast next week.
Nice.
In celebration. But they're really pushing the franchise model right now. So
yeah,
they're opening in Vegas and Reno next year. They're opened in South Carolina next year. They're opening all around Pennsylvania. So good, good solid crew, employee.
That's awesome. And that leads me into the next place. So when we went out to LA, I was looking for a place to go to when I got there because I was getting there before like a lot of my friends. And when I arrived in LA, my brother-in-law was already there with like his group of friends, but they were in Hollywood they were going to Hollywood to do like a tour. So I had time by myself when I arrived at the hotel for about 2.5, 3 hours that nobody was going to be in LA but me, besides the people that were off. So I looked up this place. It was called Culture Brewing. So I was like, I need to get a place that I can just go get something good. And when I got there, there was is someone sharing the screen?
Matt.
Keep going.
So I get there. Now I thought they served food. If this place served food, it would be one of the most clutch places because they had the best beers that I've tasted. And there was maybe 4, 5, or 6 different ones I had. And the cool thing about it was you can get, if you just wanted a sample size, you can get like